Hard and Slash is absolutely teeming with personality. The game harkens back to a forgotten era of games like Mega Man Legends and Ape Escape. Every 90-degree angle looks finely crafted to fit into this world, and animations are subtle and smooth. This retro aesthetic extends to every aspect of the game. Weapons, enemies, and effects all possess a unique blend that pulls you into the universe. Not to mention that the music hits all the right notes. It is unfortunate that the songs are few and become repetitive in consequence, but should you enter a brawl, the game will complement the action with a catchy tune. Weapons are curiously fun. Discovering a weapon for the first time can feel refreshing, as it will change up the way you approach each encounter. One minute you're swinging a health-stealing blade, the next you're hurling grenades. The small amount of story that is here is both interesting and hilarious. Though the narrative serves mostly as a means to which the game takes place, the small snippets make for an interesting distraction. The game has quite a bit of replay value, as do most roguelike dungeon crawlers. With an assortment of weapons, achievements, and secret characters to unlock, you feel as though there is something to be earned with each run. Boss battles are awesome, and while they can be a bit stressful, overcoming an intimidating foe can be a reward in itself. The way Hard and Slash differentiates itself from the others of the same genre is in its approach to the upgrade system. Upon defeating enemies, they'll drop parts that, after collecting enough, can be used to upgrade your weapons, armors, or even your personal stats. Not to mention, should you have any extra parts that you didn't spend prior to a defeat, those parts can then be carried over to the next run, so that way the player doesn't feel completely defeated. Just because Hard and Slash can become addictive does not mean that it is good. Combat is clunky, the dodge roll can be unresponsive, and weapons can come off useless, whether intentional or not. Jumping, a core mechanic in the game, is a frustrating action to perform, and is needed in order to battle airborne enemies you'll encounter almost every skirmish. Jumping immediately reveals yet another kink in the game, which is the camera. I can't begin to describe how excruciatingly painful playing with the camera is. It constantly pulls up when you back into a wall, or simply increasing in elevation. In the opening minutes, you can see Hard and Slash's camera as a nuisance, but it isn't until the later hours, when the game introduces light platforming, that it becomes a real chore to navigate. It caused many a rage quits throughout our playthrough. The game's combat emphasizes timing when it comes to dodging and blocking, but what you aren't prepared for is the nearly unpredictable nature of the collisions. This is apparent not only from your hits and slashes, but in the enemies as well. Right when you think you've successfully dodged an incoming attack, the strike registers and you pay the price. In the example, you can see that the death animation begins before I'm actually hit. The hearts even dissipate before the smash. Weapons do not always complement each other. Also in the combat system are weapon combinations. Whenever you pick up a weapon, you are given a chance, one chance mind you, to assign it to either of your shoulder buttons. When you have a weapon like a rocket hammer accompanied with some hand blades, you end up overshooting with your hammer and swinging at nothing with your blades. Double hammers or a pair of boxing gloves and a shotgun all come off as odd combinations, and in the end I chose to stick to one weapon and upgrade the others to sell for hearts. Overall, the game does a very poor job of explaining itself. Even with the half-baked tutorial, I found that the loading screens gave me more useful information than the actual tutorial mode. While roguelike games thrive in the discovery of items, I would have still liked Hard and Slash to tell me what kind of car I'm driving, and not just how to drive. Hard and Slash is an odd game to review. As a beat-em-up roguelike dungeon crawler, it has all the makings of a fulfilling title. Procedural generated stages, assortment of weapons, ton of unlockables all look great on paper, yet are poorly sewn together as a cohesive experience. This is a niche game for a niche group of people. Ultimately, I can't recommend this game to just anyone. This game is unforgiving, hardcore, and a little rough around the edges. It will frustrate and challenge you. The average gamer might even put this down after a sitting or two, and if said gamer really wanted that roguelike fix, there are other alternatives that are more rewarding. That being said, I can't put it down. I can't stop playing it. There's something that developers at Heartful of Games accomplished here. With clunky combat, you still have rhythm, with stubborn enemies comes challenge, and with the frustrating encounters comes the satisfaction of accomplishment. And while this product as a whole can feel incomplete and underdeveloped, it still has enough charm and challenge to keep some players like myself entertained. I'm Skullznhero, and for any other Let's Plays, previews, or reviews, keep it here on GameGods.